Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. Tonight I'm going to do a ring pour. So I toss and turn, try to think of what colours to do, and that's probably some of the biggest challenge. But I decided to use melon sorbet with ultraviolet and dark blueberry, which is a grey. So just three colours. I think they'll look quite nice together. They're all eraldo de paulo paints, and they will be mixed with, or they are mixed with, Australian floetrol. So I have mixed them 2 to 1. So I use 33 grams of paint and 66 grams of floetrol. So each cup has got 99 grams in it. So I've got about 300 grams of paint in total. And I'm going to try and do 3 layers. So melon grey purple, melon grey purple, melon grey purple, until I hope this is going to turn out right. Sometimes I just got to do it. All my practice runs I also do on videos, because I upload my video whether I fail or succeed. That way you get to learn from either my triumphs or my mistakes. So they have been mixed, I don't know, maybe half an hour ago. The purple does seem a little bit thicker than the others, so considering adding, yeah, I think I will. I think I'm going to add, this is a little bit thick too. I'm going to add a touch of water to those two. Just because I want them thick, but I don't want them over thick. Whoops. So that's why I usually try to make the paints up a little bit ahead of time and let them settle a little bit, because especially this eraldo brand, it thickens back up as after you've made it up. It gets a little bit thicker, not heavily thicker, but it does change its consistency slightly. But being a ring pour, you want it a little bit thick, thicker than normal. But I believe it was still too thick, and I don't want, if they're different consistencies, you'll end up getting a slightly irregular pattern. That's feeling a bit better now. Still feels a little bit thick, but that should be better than what it was. And with the eraldo brand, each colour is a bit different. So you do have to kind of judge it as you go. Cool, that feels better. Okay, sorry about that. Dump that out of the way. So I'm going to try and do 1/3 of a cup each. And I'm going to pour it down the side so I do get layers. And this canvas is a 12 by 16. So it's my normal size canvas I often use. If I don't mention the size of the canvas, it's usually because it's this 12 by 16 that I quite regularly use. They're a good canvas. It's good to have when I do my pours. It's good to use the same size all the time, unless I'm trying to do something special. So that way I know how much paint I need to use. I know how they behave. So I wasn't sure if I should have done a fully multicolored pour. I'm going to do a 4th layer. because if I add the rest of this in, it's going to be a little bit too much of a heavier layer. I try to keep the layers relatively even, but if the last layer or the top layer isn't so bad, a lot of that ends up going off the edges anyway, so it's not the end of the world if it's a little bit thicker. I mean, a little bit thinner. Like a thinner layer, I mean, if that makes sense. So I know what I'm talking about. It's hard to... Sometimes my brain knows what it means, but it doesn't always come out in words. So definitely less bubbles because it's mixed with floetrol, not the glue and water mixture. Glue and water mixture always gives me a lot more bubbles. But I love these three colours and I think that they will work quite well together. I haven't done a ring pour for a little while now, so kind of I'm getting a chance to do another one. And I really hope everyone is liking the videos. I do my best to try to keep them entertaining. Nearly there. Alrighty. There we go. I'm going to put my gloves on just so if I have to tilt straight away, I'm all set up and ready for it. I'll grab a couple of things too. So these are a couple of my last recent pours I did. That's that two, I think that was just 2 flip cups. I don't actually think that wasn't a kiss pour or anything. And this was the infinity pour using the Holcroft paints. So they've both come out well. They've dried nicely. So pleased with them. They were on thick edged canvas when most of the others are on a thin edged canvas. So something a little bit different. Okay, so I'm pinching the cup. Now this is a ring pour, so I'm going to try and keep to the middle if I can. Yeah, it's definitely thicker. Alright, the different colours are coming through. The melon colour kind of disappears a little bit. And you'll also get different, if you spin it quickly or slowly, you get slightly different results. If you do a wider circle compared to a tight circle, you get different results. I just have to slow it down because the cut's getting a bit low. So I'm just keeping it nice and tight now that it's getting less paint. Still spinning in a circle, just slowing it down and getting the circle smaller. Okay, so the colours are there. They will be more noticeable once it gets spread out more. I'm going to go around in a circle. Now I'm going to start to go over the corners. So I'm going to go down to this end and go over. And once I start going over the corners, I usually go opposite corners. I possibly even could have made this paint slightly thinner. I'm going to go this way. Just got to make sure I don't take off my circle in the middle, which ends up being close to an edge. Okay. Now, trying to bring all of it down. I'm going to lose a fair bit of my purple, but that's okay. Hope you guys can see that. So this solid purple here I'm going to lose, but I'm still going to have it in the rings. It's getting there, come on. Okay, it's gone over. Now bring the weight of the paint back. Stretching out these colours a bit more. Now, it's a lot more paler than I was expecting. I'm going to spin it around so you guys can see. Oops. Dab these corners while I can. Remember, like I've said before, pick the right coloured finger for the right corner to match it as good as you can. Now I'm going to go this way and see if I can bring that center part down a bit more. and stretch out some of these lines. Now, I'm not going to get much of that circle come down, but at least I'm stretching out all the lines a little bit more. Okay. So I can't really do too much more. There's not enough paint to really do a lot. It's not as bold as I was expecting. I think the colours have mixed a little bit, which has just changed the colours a little bit. I was expecting a little bit more boldness, but there is nice sorbet colour coming through here in streaks, and purple's coming down there. There's quite defined lines, which is good. And this is what I say by sometimes if you see something and you think's going to be great, always do a test. Like the colours in the cup actually are a lot more defined than what they are on the canvas, but I still don't mind it. This will suit certain areas. It's and not everyone wants super bold, bright painting in their house. A lot of people like things a little bit more subtle. I am going to torch it because there is a couple of air bubbles in there. Torching it's probably not going to do much apart from get rid of some air bubbles. There's no silicone, there's just floetrol. That's it. That's just popped a few of those bubbles. Okay. This is looking alright. Just different to what I planned in my head. I was expecting something a little bit more different. But I think this will actually go quite good once it's dried as well. The colours aren't going to change very much, I don't believe. And you've got this nice subtle kind of grey purple, like a slaty purpley coming through here and up there. It's definitely got a nice bold sorbet colour through here. And you've got purple down there. So I'm going to pause it and bring you in for a close look. So there we go. It's not as bold in the camera as it is actually in real life. That melon sorbet is a very melony, peachy, pinky colour. In the camera it's a little bit more orangey. But that sometimes happens with the cameras. But as you can see, the lines are quite defined. It's definitely got rings. The sorbet colour through here gets a little bit solid, not as many lines. But then we come around to this side and there's definitely lots of lines and ripples. Yeah, the colours aren't showing up correctly. That's okay. Hopefully the photos do. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, so this is the ring pour in ultraviolet, blueberry, which is grey, and melon sorbet. So, different to what I was expecting, but I still like it. Just sometimes what you plan in your head and what turns out isn't always exactly the same, but that doesn't mean it's not a good painting. It just means it's not what... It didn't flow the way that you imagined it to. So this is it for tonight. I hope you liked it. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.